And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals, or semifinals here of the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 125. We're here, we are back, and we have both of our semis, I believe, ready for us. Exclamation mark, yep, be in the chat if you guys want to have a look back yourselves. We do have our semifinalists. We have Classic versus Creator in a PvP in the upper semis, and we have ByuN versus Trigger in a PvT. We have our top 4 players here, 3 Protoss and a Terran, and we'll see if we can avoid the PvP finals. Can we avoid it, Pappy? Let's go. Let's find out. As we are jumping into our first series, as we are jumping into 10,000 feet. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Canadian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Basilisk. It is a Trigger. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we delve into our PvT. Best of luck. Best of luck. Best of luck. As we have our best of 3 semifinals already. ByuN does skirt around the edge of the map. It does hide his SCV here in the center and is going for the proxy racks. Let's go. Let us go. So ByuN already opening up hyper aggressive. Welcome to 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet is one of the smaller maps of the map pool. Shorter rush distance by ground. Despite that fact, ByuN is still opening up quite aggressively here, and we'll see how hard he commits. Behind this, going for a second gas geyser back at home, and the initial probe scout will miss the racks. Yeah, we'll miss it. Trigger does move out. Trigger, he will at least confirm that the racks is missing once he gets across the map. We'll at least confirm. But yes, if you're in the chat, get your Gamma going. Best of luck. Best of luck. Coming into this, I would say that ByuN is favored, but I would not be surprised if Trigger takes it. Like, this is going to be a harder one to call, I feel. Like, this is a harder one to call. Both Trigger and ByuN are quite close in skill. Quite close. And it is going to be Proxy Marauder. Again, both gases have been taken. Tech Lab is on the way. We're committing into Marauders. And Trigger does at least scout both gases. He sees both gases. He's aware that a Rax is missing. This could still be Proxy 2-Rax Reaper. Let's race back. Technically, this could be Rax into Factory. It could be a 1-1-1. Trigger, he does scout towards the left-hand side. Looking for the proxy. Does scout to the left. And I think he will scout the center. Oh, not quite. No, he goes to the pocket. Yeah, he does go for the pocket expansion. Does check the triangular third. And still finds nothing. It doesn't quite confirm. Marauders are amassing. The first Stalker is on the way. And ByuN, he wants to catch that Stalker. He wants him. Does move in. Pylon is exposed. And Trigger's out of position. He's out of position now. Does race back. Bunker gets thrown down. Boys are being pulled. Yeah, the boys are being pulled. The Pylon is getting low. So far, nice kiting. Again, he wants that Stalker. Yeah, he does get the shots off. And this Stalker will go down. Trades 1-to-1. And the other Stalker gets caught out as well. Yeah, it does get caught out. There's no escaping this. The Stalker will fall. Oh, that's 2 Stalkers falling. Now the bunker finishes. No, the bunker is done. The Marauders, they will get in. Yeah, they barely do dive into the bunker. And with that, they have control of the natural. Pylon will fall as well. And this is just a rough trade here for Trigger. He cannot deal with this. Yeah, he cannot deal with the setup. Shield battery is depowered. More Marauders are rallying in. And Trigger, he's lost control of his own natural. Oof. Losing the battery. There's only 2 pylons on the low ground. Trigger, he's stuck in the main. And again, just so unfortunate. Trigger, he was scouting so hard here towards the left-hand side. He was looking diligently, but didn't confirm the proxy. And he may even lose the natural base. He's building up to 3 Stalkers. But even then, he cannot break this with 3 Stalkers. That's not enough. So does he just lose the base? I think so. And losing the space, that's game. Like, he cannot afford to lose the Nexus. Not like this. Back at home, ByuN is expanding. Trigger, he does push down. He's got 4 Stalkers. Once again, he gets bullied. And he will lose the Nexus. Massive pickoff here. Massive start here for ByuN. Ay. Trigger supply blocked as well. Going for the scouts. The Hellion does get into the main base, does come from the Stargate, does see the Oracle. ByuN knows. Back at home is getting a Cyclone. Cyclone will be in position. At this point, ByuN, he can just abandon this position here and just retain and contain his opponent on one base for as long as possible. Rax is already floating back home. Has already arrived. And ByuN can just macro. He just macro from here. Oh, does spot the Oracle. Boost in. And GG. GG gets called. ByuN will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Aye. GG well played again. Such an unfortunate scouting pattern there from Trigger. He was looking everywhere for that proxy. Failed to find it, though. It was in the center of the map. It was behind that center third base. And Trigger, he was just woefully underprepared. Oh. Okay. He was just underprepared. He was bullied back. If you remember, part of the reason why this worked out so well wasn't the lack of scouting, but because Trigger wasn't able to find it, the first Stalker went out into the center of the map. Remember, the first Stalker was out in the open, was on the other side of the attempted bunker, so the Stalker was caught out, right? The Stalker was just dead in the water immediately, so it was just a really rough start there for Trigger to lose that first Stalker at the start of the game, and from there he lost the second Stalker as well. He lost both Stalkers almost immediately, and with that everything just snowballed, out of control, bunker finished, GG. GG well played. And again, the Stalkers were out in the open because we were still looking for the proxy. But now we're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Canadian Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Basilisk. It is a Trigger. Let's go. Let us go. As we are going to be opening up. And this time the Rax is back at home. This time, no proxy. No proxy in sight. Welcome to Winter Madness. Winter Madness is one of the larger maps of the map pool. Larger map, longer rush distance by ground, and more defendable third and fourth bases. So we do often get into longer and later games. But ByuN typically likes to be aggressive, right? He wants to be in your face, he wants to be all in or just be hyper aggressive while he builds up a greater economy. So eyes are on ByuN as to how aggressive he plans on being. We'll see if Trigger can scout and keep up. This time it should be a much more comfortable start for Trigger. Much more comfortable. And we'll say the map itself does favor Trigger a little bit more when it comes to building up into a longer game. So this is going to be a good chance here for Trigger to recover and to force an ace match. But let's go. As Trigger pokes in, is going to be Marine first, no Reaper. Ooh, CC is delayed. Nice delay there from Trigger. Forcing the command center off center. As it was a Rax expand. Yeah, Marine first, right into the Tech Lab. Ooh, early Tech Lab here from ByuN, going Marauders once again, this time not proxied, but the goal here is because ByuN has gone for a greedier build, he's gone for a faster CC, and because it's off-center as well, ByuN, he wants Trigger to punish him. He's like, punish me, pappies. ByuN, he wants Trigger to move in with the Adept, with a Stalker, and try to delay the CC. The goal for ByuN is to catch that first unit with Concussive Shell. Many Terran players, they actually hide this Marauder, say, at the third location, so the initial Adept and Stalker move into the natural, they move further into the bases, and then the Marauder comes in from behind. They come in from behind, then they can catch out the army. Speaking of, here comes the first Adept. Trigger does move out. See in chat, do the other semifinals wait for this one to finish? Yes, for Sparkling Tuna Cup, we do cast both semis, one after the other. Casper. I know that's not the case for all tournaments. I think Monday Night Weekly have an accelerated bracket, so they don't hold matches. I know Pegasus Cup doesn't hold matches. I think Wardy does every now and then. Like Wardy, it's a vibe check for Wardy, but usually he does cast both semis. So it is on a tournament by tournament basis. Ooh, as ByuN, he's going 3 CC, 3 ranks. Okay, very greedy build here. Trigger, he was very tentative. He was able to confirm the Marauder, and he does get away. So thankfully, Trigger, actually he missed. No, he gets baited. Yeah, he gets baited in. It does shade, and the Adept will go down. Does it get an SCV? Does not. Doesn't kill the SCV, so a better trade here for ByuN. And behind this, going for a very greedy follow-up, going 3 CC, 3 racks, very greedy, very mid-game oriented. This does allow for a very big power spike in the mid-game due to the greater economy. So strong mid-game build here by ByuN. Trigger back at home, playing very safe. Trigger, he failed to scout the main. He's not aware of what's going on. He's going 3 gates blink into a robo on 2 bases. Very safe play here by Trigger. Overly safe play considering what ByuN is up to. I don't blame Trigger. It is not uncommon to go for a Marauder opener straight into a 3 racks into an early sim timing. Unfortunately, it is a 3 racks, but it's a 3 racks after the command center. So it's a more economic build. And we'll see what Trigger can get done. Bearing in mind, because of the 3 racks, there are no tanks, right? There's no factory, there's no tank production. So Trigger has potential to get into the bases and to pick away the Marines and maybe find some damage. I say mainly, there's a window until Stim finishes. When Stim is done, Trigger will be punished for those blinks. So he has to be very, very careful with how he does blink, with how aggressive he is. As Trigger moves out. As he moves out, he claims his 3rd. As Trigger, he does get spotted. Catching out a Marine. Catching out a Marine. Picking up some SCVs, not bad. Getting 1, 2, 3 SCV kills. Decent damage here by Trigger. Again, nothing game ending, but nice pickups nonetheless. Catching out 3 workers and forcing some boys off the mineral line. Denying some mining. Threatening a dive into the main. He blinks in. He's crazy. He blinks in. He gets punished. Losing 1. Losing. Oh, so far 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh god, this is not worth it. It's not worth it. So many stalkers go down. Ay, ay, ay. That was 7 stalkers going down in total. Yeah, heavy losses there for Trigger. As we mentioned, blinking into the army, you get punished so hard by Stim. And Trigger was punished. He's doing it again. Okay, this time he can lift. This time only 4 stalkers, so he can lift every single one. This time more calculated from Trigger. Ooh, still loses 1. Yeah, 1 stalker still goes down. Trigger, he has to back off. I don't blame him for being active. He knows that he has to find some damage here, but did overextend. Did overextend. This also means that Trigger's defense is going to be that much weaker. You can see the army's barely standing. Barely holding on. Everyone's Creator go to the finals. I mean, Creator, he won recently, right? Oh. Creator does poke in. Does poke in. Gonna be zoned back. Observer gets caught. I'm thinking about his match versus Classic in SE Evo, to be fair. She casted this morning, but here we go. Again, ByuN does hold his own, claims his 3rd. Remember, his economy is that much stronger due to the faster 3rd CC. Trigger, he has to commit. We'll bring in more units. I will say that the army is a little bit oversimmed. Only 1 medevac. Boys are being pulled. Trigger, he does not push through. ByuN, he wants the Immortal. Nice save. Nice save out of Trigger. Again, both armies are on a knife's edge. Bay's on the way for Trigger, working towards Colossus. Jumping into the natural. And does get in. Not bad. Dips into the mineral line. That's what I'm thinking of. So, in Tuna Cup 2 weeks ago, Creator, he was up against Classic in the finals. I went all the way to the ace match. And remember, it was Creator who was up 2-0. He was up 2-0, and then the Classic pulled off a reverse sweep against Creator. That's what I was thinking of. But they had an intense back and forth. Very intense. So we'll see them face off again. That'll be later on. For now, though, we're building up the Colossi. Right now, it's going to be on Trigger, no longer to break the position, but to slow him down, to pick away at the army. Do have a massive Zealot Rambo being set up on the right-hand side. Trigger does distract. Trigger's moving in. Oof. Flash goes off. Zealot try to catch reinforcements. Yeah, a little bit indecisive. Does not find a way in. ByuN coming in for the surround. No, the Immortals! Yeah, the Immortal and the Prism as well. One Immortal goes down. Yeah, he gets one. Catching out the rest of the army. Ay. Yeah, rough loss here for Trigger. He gets caught with his pants down. He gets caught out. And ByuN is pushing. ByuN has momentum. There's going to be one Colossus to defend. There's one Colossus, barely a gateway army. We need more charge ults, more zealots. ByuN scans, so they'll see the setup, and he does pull away. ByuN doesn't have to push. He has a 4th CC in production. He has a 4th command center. He can just chill. 2nd starport, more Vikings. Bold expansion. Trigger. Expanding in the face of ByuN, papi. Ay. Bold move. Thankfully, ByuN didn't veer in that direction. As ByuN is close to maxing out, claiming his 4th. Trigger setting up for his own counterattack. And Disruptor production has begun. I believe we should be working... Yeah, he does have a 2nd robo. So we can soon get into mass disruptors. That is kind of the go-to in the mid to late game. Prism moves in. Army's in position. And ByuN defends. ByuN, he defends well. The game is slowing down. Both armies are maxed. ByuN does have a lot of dive potential, I will say that. He's up to 9 Vikings, soon to be 12. Catching out the first Colossus, never goes off. Ooh, nice connection. Yeah, ByuN does take the Nova to the face. Vikings, they catch 1 Colossus. They get 1. They're going to get 2. I think they get 3. Oh, God, we're losing far too many Vikings. Sorry, far too many Colossus here. Yeah, 2 many Colossus going down. There's 1 Colossus left, down to 0, and ByuN can just stim in. He can just stim and win. There's no splash damage, no Colossus, no Storm, no Disruptors. I say that 1 Disruptor does arrive. Here comes the 2nd. Can we dodge the Novas? There he goes off. There he goes off. Zealous attempt to surround. They attempt to flank. Nice kiting here by ByuN. Nice EMP. And ByuN pulls back. ByuN did take a massive win here, a massive fight, and he's just going to back off and max out. Very patient play here by ByuN. Very mature. Very disciplined. That's the word I'm looking for. Very disciplined. As he doesn't want to lose his lead, doesn't want to overextend. Just waiting for what? Waiting for now Liberators. The Freedom Pack. Liberation's on the way. Trigger setting up for a Zealot run by. ByuN does stim in. Boulder, he's crazy. Ooh, Novas don't quite connect. Wow, Novas don't connect. Vikings land. 1 Nova still does not actually. The target firing. 3 Novas, none of them connect. ByuN stims in. As Zelsa will catch reinforcements. But ByuN, he will break the expansion. He'll break the Nexus. Nexus goes down. Liberators, they defend back at home. ByuN does turn around though. And he will catch the Zealots. Wow, it does catch them. He gets a Ghost. Still a better trade for ByuN. ByuN scans, looking for more bases, more expansions. ByuN is actually not aware of these center right bases. The top right expansions. Again, Trigger trying to hold his own. There's still plenty of Vikings left over, though. Still plenty of Vikings. I say that we're down to 2. That's all we need. Yeah, the Vikings, they shut down the final Colossus. And again, ByuN just has too much momentum. Too much momentum, catching on another Disruptor. Another Disruptor goes down. Again, ideally in the mid to late game PvT matchup, the Protoss player, he does want to bank. Wants a greater economy, wants a greater bank, but that's not quite here. The trades have just been too poor for Trigger. He's just been caught out one too many times. It takes so long to rebuild your high-tech units here. The Colossus, the Disruptors. They've been reset time and time again. God, it's almost pure Marauder. Look how beefy this army is. Oh my god. It's thick, Baffy. Aye, aye, aye. Nice little run by there. 13 SCVs. 13 SCVs go down. A nice run by. Marauders, they try to rush in here, but so far Trigger does take a better fight. Does take the better engage. ByuN Hill's forced to split. How many Marauders? 21! 21 Marauders. We are lacking Ghosts though. That's my one big concern. So there's no Ghosts, there's no EMPs. There we go. Speaking of, Ghost production has begun once again. Trigger trying to find a better angle. Trying to. Liberators, they just push forward. Colossus goes down to 2. Trigger, he at least wants that planetary, but he cannot get it. He just cannot. Nice support on the Nova. Again, the Marauders, they can tank. Ooh, speaking of Marauders, sorry, the Nova does clip the army. Catching up 3, catching up 4 Marauders, not bad. And not a bad Nova, but it's still a rough fight here for Trigger, bleeding out Stalkers of all things. Some gas-intensive losses. The Liberators denying mining here on the right-hand side. Okay, there's the scan. The Liberator moves in. ByuN is maxed. Maxed out nice EMPs. Oh my god! The EMPs, they cover the army! They blank the army. Ooh, ByuN a little bit too soon. Yeah, moves in too soon, bit of miscontrol there by ByuN. Running into the Nova. And a Trigger, if he can land a couple of Novas, then he can maybe hold on and try to stabilize. But it's still looking bleak here as the Disruptors, they will not connect. Yeah, they don't connect. 2 more Disruptors go down. Liberation finally gets across the map. He's got his Liberators. He's moving in. Finally on top of the bases. And the Stalker army cannot hold its own, not against Mass Marauder, not like this. Another Disruptor thrown away. Vikings, they can land. Once again, the Zealot run by does pop off though. 17 dead SCVs. Not a bad run by. ByuN is distracted. Ooh, a little bit. But ByuN, he defends back at home. Will bleed out 22 SCVs, but ByuN, he has mules. And he can use this as a staging ground and just keep pushing. To keep pushing into more bases, more expansions. Yeah, Trigger, he knows he has to evacuate. He has to pull away. Nova is denied. Dada. Yeah, a bit of a misrally as well. And ByuN should keep pushing. Keep going, back. Doesn't get flanked. Does can. Spots the army. Oof. Nova's not connecting. Once again, that's 3 Disruptors going down. And ByuN forces a better fight for him. Oh, it's a bit of awkward movement. Yeah, a little bit awkward there. But does stem in. And Trigger plummets in supply down to 100 supply remaining. Ay, ay, ay. As you mentioned, these have just been some heavy losses for Trigger. I'm afraid to look. How many Disruptors have been going down? 16. Oof. 16 Disruptors and 8 Colossus. And again, this all came down to the early game. It all came down to the initial Stalker aggression. Basically, I'm referring to the moment where ByuN went for an economic build, Trigger tried to punish, and Trigger was punished for being overly aggressive. It allowed ByuN to establish his third base quite freely, to build up into a greater economy, and GG gets called. ByuN, who'll take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. GG, well played. ByuN, he will claim the series 2-0, I should say. He will advance on into the grand finals to face off against his next opponent, to face off against either Creator or Classic. GG. GG, well played. ByuN does advance on. My condolences to Trigger. Again, it was just a really rough start here in game number 2. Winding it back, we were emphasizing it, but remember, ByuN, he went for a 3cc build, 3rd CC after the racks, into a 3-rack setup. So a very greedy build there by ByuN, and ByuN wasn't punished. He was not punished for his greed. He was able to get away with it. He was able to build up, get into his own 3cc 3-rack setup. He even punished the Stalker aggression of Trigger, which allowed for ByuN to have a very solid early to mid game, have the better economy, build up. There was a lot of pressure on Trigger to find damage, and that did force better trades from ByuN, as Trigger was being overly aggressive and overly assertive and was struggling with that.